Welcome to the journey of transforming good characters into unforgettable ones. Did you know that nearly 60% of readers cite character connection as the main reason they finish a book? Or that characters, not plots, are what most viewers remember years after a movie ends? This isn't just about crafting a character, it's about creating a living, breathing presence that readers and viewers can't forget. In this series, we dive deep into the secrets that make characters not just functional but magical. We'll explore how the intricacies of their minds, the echoes of their pasts, and even their everyday habits can turn flat descriptions into vibrant personalities that leap off the page or screen. From understanding the psychological foundations to mastering the subtleties of dialogue, each chapter of this guide is designed to build on the last, forming a comprehensive toolkit for anyone looking to enhance their storytelling. And remember, sometimes it's the smallest details that hold the most power. Ready to find out how simple conversations and minor quirks can create a charisma that's nothing short of enchanting? Let's get started and uncover how you can leave a lasting impression on your audience with characters that resonate, inspire, and, most importantly, feel real. Chapter 1: The Mind's Mirror. Crafting multi-dimensional minds. Have you ever felt like a character in a book could walk right off the page? That's no accident. Great characters often reflect deep psychological truths that resonate with us. To start, think about what scares your character the most. Fear is a universal emotion that can reveal the core of a person. For example, did you know that in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, the characters' fears often symbolize deeper personal struggles? Next, consider your character's desires. What do they want more than anything? This desire can drive your narrative forward and give your character a clear goal. According to a study by the University of California, characters with strong, clear motivations are more engaging to readers. Secrets are another tool in your arsenal. They add layers of intrigue and can create suspense or surprise in your story. Imagine how a secret could influence your character's actions. Maybe they're hiding something that could change how others perceive them. When mapping out these aspects, keep your details consistent. A character who is afraid of heights might avoid situations where this fear could be exposed. This small detail adds a layer of realism to their actions and decisions. Interaction with other characters can also reveal aspects of their personality that aren't immediately apparent. Think about how your character reacts in different social situations. Are they bold or reserved? These interactions can reveal new facets of their character and keep your audience guessing. Lastly, remember that change is vital. Characters that evolve through the story are more believable and relatable. Set up a development arc that challenges their fears, desires, and secrets. Watching them overcome or succumb to these can be a powerful draw for your audience. Chapter 2: Echoes of the Past. Time travel with backstories. Every character has a history, and knowing how to reveal it can add depth to your storytelling. Start by deciding which parts of the past are crucial to your narrative. Not every detail needs to be in the spotlight, but the right fragments can enrich the story's present. Think about the impact of the past on your character's current life. For instance, a character who grew up in poverty might have a different view of money or trust. These backstories can explain a lot about their behavior and choices, making them feel more real to your audience. When introducing a character's history, timing is everything. Drop hints about their past gradually to keep the audience engaged and curious. A study from Stanford University found that viewers are more likely to remain interested in a story if the backstory is distributed in pieces rather than all at once. Also, consider how the environment has shaped them. Characters are often products of their surroundings. Someone raised in a bustling city might navigate the world differently from someone from a quiet village. These details can make your world more immersive and your characters more compelling. Sometimes, the backstory involves trauma or significant events. Handle these with care. Show how these experiences have shaped the character's resilience or fears. This approach can foster a deeper connection with the audience, as they empathize with the character's struggles and root for their recovery. Lastly, use dialogue and flashbacks sparingly to reveal backstory. Too much exposition can slow your narrative down. Instead, let the character's choices and revelations come out naturally in their interactions. This keeps the story moving and the readers on their toes. Chapter 3: Dialogue Dances. Orchestrating authentic conversations. Crafting dialogue that rings true isn't just about what your characters say, it's about how they say it. Start by listening to how people talk in real life. You'll notice that conversation is rarely perfect. People interrupt each other, hesitate, and sometimes speak in half sentences. Mimicking this can bring your characters to life. When giving your characters a voice, think about their background. A character from a rural farm will speak differently from one raised in a metropolitan area. According to linguistics research, regional dialects and slang can add authenticity to a character's voice and make them more relatable to readers from similar backgrounds. Remember, dialogue is a tool for showing personality. A shy character might speak in a quiet, measured way, while an outgoing one might use bold and loud expressions. These choices help paint a clearer picture of who they are. It's also a powerful vehicle for conveying conflict. A well-placed argument can reveal tensions and push the story forward. Think about how your character's words can clash with their actions, creating an intriguing layer of irony or hypocrisy that adds depth to the narrative. Balance is key. Too much dialogue can tire a reader, while too little may leave them detached from the characters. A good rule of thumb from script writing suggests having a mix of dialogue and action to keep the pacing lively and engaging. Lastly, read your dialogue out loud. This practice can help you catch unnatural phrasing and rhythms. If it sounds awkward coming from your mouth, it might need a tweak to sound right to your audience's ears. Chapter 4: Flawed yet flawless. The beauty of imperfection. Perfect characters are often forgettable, but flawed ones, they stick with us long after the story ends. Start by choosing flaws that contrast with their strengths. For instance, a brilliant detective might be socially awkward. This contrast makes characters more interesting and less predictable. Think about how flaws can affect the plot. A character's impulsive nature might lead to a major conflict or a pivotal decision that drives the story forward. According to a survey by a major literary agency, characters with internal conflicts are more compelling because they reflect real human struggles. Use flaws to foster growth. Characters should learn from their mistakes, which can lead to satisfying character arcs. Show how dealing with their imperfections helps them achieve their goals or become better people. Remember, flaws should be more than just quirks, they must have consequences. For example, a character's stubbornness should occasionally lead to genuine setbacks. This realism can make your audience empathize more with the character, as everyone has faced the consequences of their flaws at some point. Lastly, avoid cliches. If you're writing about an alcoholic detective, you'll need to go deeper than the stereotype. What led them to drink? How does it affect their work and relationships? Delving into these questions can turn a cliché into a deeply human character. Chapter 5: The Secret Lives of Characters. Off-screen existence. Great characters live beyond the pages or scenes they appear in. Start by imagining what your characters do when they're not in the spotlight. This off-screen life informs their on-screen decisions and makes them more realistic. For instance, a character who enjoys cooking might be more patient or creative, traits that can subtly influence their main story actions. Consider their habits and routines. A study by the University of Southern California suggests that characters who display consistent routines tend to be perceived as more believable by audiences. This doesn't mean every detail needs to be shown, but knowing these can help you understand how they might react in various situations. Use these off-screen elements to add depth to dialogue and interactions. A character with a background in negotiation might handle conflict differently from one who's been isolated. This background can enrich interactions without needing explicit explanation every time they speak or act. Think about relationships that exist primarily off-screen. How do these relationships affect the character's choices? Maybe a strong friendship shapes their loyalty, or a difficult breakup colors their views on new relationships. These unseen elements can drive the character's decisions in the main plot. Lastly, give your characters interests that might never directly impact the plot but add flavor to their personality. Maybe your hero loves old movies, or your villain collects rare books. These details make them more memorable and engaging. Chapter 6: Magic in the Mundane. Turning everyday details into charisma. The smallest details can sometimes tell us the most about a character. Start by choosing one or two mundane traits or habits, and think about how these can reflect larger aspects of their personality. For example, a character who always wears bright colors might be trying to remain upbeat despite underlying struggles. According to a psychological study, people are often drawn to characters who exhibit familiar traits in unfamiliar ways. This means taking a common trait, like meticulousness, and showing it in a unique context, such as a thief who is meticulous about cleanliness. Use everyday actions as symbols. A character constantly fixing their watch could signify an obsession with time, either past regrets or anxiety about the future. This adds a layer of depth that can make ordinary interactions more meaningful. Consider how mundane details affect the character's interactions with others. A character who's always seen with a coffee cup might be more approachable, serving as a social bridge in group settings. This simple prop can influence how other characters perceive and interact with them. Lastly, let these details evolve. Just as people change, so should your characters. Perhaps the meticulous thief starts to care less about cleanliness as they come to terms with the chaos in their life. Showing this change can be a subtle but powerful way to signal development and growth.